One second.
Do a test. Right. Come and test one. Test one, too.
Hi. Yeah.
It's the yellow one and the blue one if you can't see it from here.
So good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be in Limassol. I'm obviously from the shadowy Nicosia, where nothing exciting usually happens, once every 2 or 3 weeks. But obviously here you have events popping up every day. Thank you very much for the invite, Stylianos, Dusan, Anna. Thank you. So I'm here with Konstantinos.
Good morning, everyone.
Together,
Happy to be with you.
we are sort of bringing the change in terms of KPMG being a tech company. So this is the new message people told me to relay. So KPMG is a tech company. We are scrapping away the boring accounting and auditing background. So Konstantino, I mean, it's been a year.
It's been a year.
It's good to
discuss.
catch up. Yes. Long time no see.
Agree.
So Konstantinos is from Limassol. So I'm based in Nicosia.
I'm the lucky one.
So, you can give us in 2 sentences, what was the experience in the last year of us communicating and engaging with the various projects that we are dealing with?
I will say adapting last year, trying to find our way. But today we have all the tools and the mindset to actually grow. What do you think?
Well, obviously, I didn't see your face. I always like to feel connected. So, for example, I can sense the energy from the people in the auditorium, and it's hugely impressive in terms of the energy that is created. It is proliferated, and it helps me a lot in terms of what I want to deliver. So it was a pity that we didn't see each other and have,
Yeah, we can catch up now, actually. It's a good...
Yes, so let's do it.
Yeah, so what do you think now? I mean, we've passed... Last year we had a lot of challenges, and now what's your forecast for this year and how things are moving?
Well, I mean, last year we discussed about the accelerated process that COVID was going to be bringing to various organizations. And I think now it's clear that we have 3 pillars with which organizations are going to be adapting to their new digital agenda. They have to be connected, they have to be empowered, and I'll give you my thoughts in terms of what empowerment means, and they have to create a safety environment, either physical or digital, for everyone that deals with their organization at the 360 level. And that safety has to be in a multidisciplinary level, both at the physical and digital.
Can I add another one?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Shouldn't they be also alerted?
Alerted? Yeah, I mean, if you can explain it to me.
Well, actually, this is a time where new opportunities happen, right? So you have to be on the right spot, on the right time. You have to be looking for opportunities to grow your business. So on top of those 3 layers that you mentioned, alerting is something good, right? You need to be active and trying to see how to grow your business. So I deviated a bit from the framework, but...
No, I mean, yeah, obviously alerted. It's a process with which I think it relates to the empowerment and the trusted and the trusted process that you have created for everyone to participate in. And I think what really, it really got me, to be honest, it's how, and obviously we can get the feedback from the audience, it's how customer-centric all new business models are being created. So, I mean, it's very difficult, obviously, to top the presentation from Brain Rocket, but it gives you an idea in terms of how business models are now being developed. We've got the customer-centric, and I think at the same level, something which I think is unprecedented, especially for Cyprus and at the global level, is that organizations need to be employee-centric. And I hate the word employee. I always view it as a people within an organization, the backbone, and I think that is also at the center of the business model development.
That's actually really good. I was going to ask if you want to dive a bit to the three, let's say, the connected element.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about connected, it's not only from the internal perspective. So you have to have a very good communication strategy and governance within your different layers, let's say back office, middle office, front office, customer services, etc. But you also need to be connected with the outside world, right? So you need to seek this kind of collaborations where you will actually help you grow.
Yeah, I mean, at the level of the customer, now the customer has been given a new set of rules. E-commerce, last mile delivery, Svelta, for example, and we're seeing these examples popping up next to us, even at the fintech level, the bank of the future, PropTech. Now the customer has experienced the velocity with which they can be connected with everything that they want. So at the same level, I see the customer now being enticed to a wholly different future that unwinds in front of them. It's very difficult to scale it back. So at this stage, an organization has to be customer-centric. It has to be agile in the sense that it has to expedite and speed up the process of its digital transformation agenda. And at the CFO, CEO level, at the C-level suite, we see a lot of investment, and at the global level in terms of bringing the agenda of transformation in various forms. But at the same time, what strikes me most is that everyone thinks that their employees, their teams, should also be as connected. So the paradigm that Branson was saying, treat your employees as you want to treat your customers, because they are the face with which the communication and the connection with your customer experience will evolve. That is taking place now. I mean, if your team is not experiencing, and experiencing is a very key word. If your team is not experiencing the same level of technological leverage within your organization, it cannot translate to a customer experience. And I see that with banks. I even see it with our organization. So I mean, if we are not able to be connected, if the velocity with which our communication takes place, it's not at the same speed as now as a customer engages with the outside world, it will not translate into an efficient connection at the customer level.
You actually touch a very nice point that it's not always about having the tools to actually better serve your customer, but it also it's very important to have the right mindset, right? So you've talked about how my employees and treat your employees like you will do with your customers. So the human factor still is quite important, right? And it might be, from my perspective, the most important one. So you have the tools, you have the data, you have the all the tools necessary to be able to understand better and serve your customer. But at the end of the day, it's your employees actually that are going to be addressing them. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely on point in the sense that if, for example, I cannot order my coffee in the same way internally, in the same way I can order my coffee when I'm at my home or any other sort of environment, for example, then I cannot easily translate what my goals are in terms of targets and the customer experience. So, and I think that is important because I see the younger generation trying to understand what their role is within a team. And I think COVID also brought this as a key issue in adopting either offline or online space. Because there are a number of corporations across the globe that are still debating, should I be physical or should I be digital? And there is obviously a lot that are adopting a less risky agenda, let's do hybrid. But at the same time, they understand that they are not ready in terms of their own infrastructure of how they go about utilizing their teams in having maximum effectiveness in connecting with their customers. So it's connection both externally and internally.
And another point on that is actually you can still have the human touch on technology as well, right? So you can build experiences with empathy. So the people behind designing should have in mind what is the best way to serve my customer, what is, how should I approach each of the stages of the experience, etc. So there is a lot of overlapping, let's say, between those two words.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that popped up is that the new solutions that are being adopted by corporations at the global level, they have a key ingredient. One of the checkboxes that each solution should tick is that it has to be low code. That is, the coding should be in a way that leverages agility moving forward. No more legacy systems. They understand that what we know now or what we knew a year ago cannot be probably the solution in 5 years' time. So a low-code solution is primary in C-level decision-making across digital transformation.
Interesting. Permission to change pillar.
Yes.
Let's go to the trustworthy.
Yes.
What do you think? I mean, being trustworthy is one of the key, let's say, areas of an organization today. Okay, and I mean, there are multiple ways to achieve this kind of vision and this kind of appetite within organizations. And I mean, first of all, let's go back to the basics. Let's see how the organizations today prepare for let's say, cyber attacks, or how do you project a brand that is actually alerted towards that direction, and how ready they are. What do you think on this?
I mean, we've got Odyssey, so they can obviously provide a bit more info on this. And I think that is relevant with safety. It's at the digital and at the physical space, the level of safety is paramount within the pyramid of needs. So if at any time you don't feel comfortable in terms of the exchange, because you need to be aware that the speed with which you are now connected and communicating is unprecedented. So that if at any stage of this process you feel unsafe within your environment, that creates a wholly different ball game, because that creates obstacles with which change takes place. So I think you are on point, but obviously you are a bit more keen to add on what we're discussing.
Yeah. Let's talk also, I mean, a hot, let's say, subject now, which is linked actually to trustworthiness, right? And let's say about the ESG agendas of the organizations, how those actually project this kind of trustworthiness. So, I mean, if I'm an organization that actually focuses on these matters which are important for humanity, not just for the organization itself, then it's actually a very good point to actually project this kind of trustworthiness to your to your people as well, right? And
Yeah,
then
I mean-
to your partners.
Yeah, I mean, ESG is a sort of a buzzword. I've been hearing it for the last 2 days within the Reflect events. And it has been there, I mean, in terms of environment, social, and governance, it's key in terms of what we are discussing. And I think, I mean, if we look at the markets, ESG leveraged organizations perform as an index, perform 20% better than non-ESG leveraged organizations. So ESG, again, provides the sort of accountability, the source of sustainable business growth, and again, through technology. And it gives a clear message to how you communicate and connect with both your employees, your team, and the outside world, being your customers, being your society at large. So that is key, and I think Europe is embracing at a faster pace, and that's good, and we have a lot of changes that are going to be taking place in the next years. But I mean, environmentally, sustainability, social diversity, the technology that can enable the diversity agenda to take on within organizations is key, and allows, obviously, expression and communication and connection between people being at the outside or being at the inside of an organization.
So what's next? Maybe see
I thought you were
the moderator.
No, the crystal ball expert.
There is another area I want to discuss with you.
Before the crystal ball.
Actually, the crystal ball just dropped it out. So,
Okay, yes.
so let's talk a bit about whether this is actually the good time to actually work with others, right? And build very trustworthy alliances and collaborations. I believe, I mean, the time is now because everyone is shifting towards this digital acceleration pattern, let's say. And now is a golden opportunity because most of the people are working and most of the companies are working towards that. So collaborating, not just from a business model perspective, but also having this kind of services or digital offerings where you can actually work with others in other industries and build joint offerings is actually really good.
That's a very, very interesting paradigm. I mean, for me, it relates to the openness of the human nature. Personally, I cannot easily see it, let's say, in closed societies like at Cyprus. I would be, I don't know, I would be excited if we could work and be having this cross-platform collaboration between even organizations that are seemingly competing with each other. At PropTech, for example, or it would be ideal to have this leveraging each other's abilities in a cross-functional way and finding mutual ways of benefiting and creating a bigger sort of growth within an environment with which we can all take profit from, let's say. The bigger the society, the most probably the more open it will be. Being obviously closer to the sea, I think it works. I think, for example, in Limassol, I see a lot more people collaborating rather than I see in Nicosia. So there is a sort of an environmental element to it. But yes, I mean, I see a lot of efforts at the global level by leveraging, for example, and collaborating in solving problems between, let's say, Google and Amazon, rather than necessarily being pegged against each other. So, I mean, if we can do it at a more, let's say, at the micro level of Cyprus, that would be very ideal, in my opinion. But I see a lot of obstacles in practice. I mean, every time I call about collaboration,
We still go.
I see a lot of not as many smiling faces.
But you still have to go back to the mindset, right? So actually it comes from our education and also the experiences we have within the organizations, right? So
Yeah.
we need to seek this kind of
No,
opportunities.
I think Reflect, for example, I mean, people usually want the change of mindset to take place like the Matrix. I know there is a new Matrix coming up, which is obviously all the tech or all the movie lovers will rush to it. But I mean, mindset changes with events like Reflect. So you have to create the opportunity with which you can change mindset. Mindset can change at the top-down level. I mean, having a CEO who's open, who wants to be adopting to change, accepting that, making an omelette will probably need to be breaking some eggs. Usually, I don't know. So, and in Cyprus, we are holding tight to our eggs. So we like them boiled. So yeah, that's a problem. I think that it hinders the development, and I see a lot of positive changes happening in Greece, for example. And I'm communicating with our colleagues and a lot of friends at the Greek level, and I see how the momentum has shifted in terms of mindset. Now, people understand their role, understand that they need to be grinding, they understand that mistakes take place every day, and they need to be creating the opportunities with which they can take their idea to the next level. And I think, not to obviously be too harsh on what's happening in Cyprus, I think the government is also leveraging on technology and is bringing a lot of positive changes. But I think we have a lot more that we can be doing, and I think Reflect is a very positive opportunity with which people can adapt to a different mindset. Taking 2 or 3 takeaways from each event, going the next day and say, this is what I need to be doing. And obviously that helps. And you have to understand that there is a sort of a Everest to climb. Our Olympus is a bit of an Everest.
And then you can go to execution, because now this is we're talking about technology democratization. Everyone has access to development, to build products, to actually have access on technology that matters. So actually going from these, let's say...
I think you made a very good point that I wanted to touch upon, the democratization of technology. The ability, for example, Marios Kapnisis or Pavlos Loizou can give you a glimpse. Your ability now to have access to all the plots, houses, availability of real estate within Cyprus. I think that's unprecedented. That was something that you needed to know someone that knows someone that has access to the land registry, if there was a land registry, for example, in Greece. Now having this this power at your fingertips, and I think that is power to the people. That is something that cannot be taken back. That is something that we need to be building on in the future rather than scaling it back. And that's why I am having the customer experience and the employee team experience, because that is interrelated and integral. The safety net and the agility with which you develop the solutions to, your business model in adapting to the changing world.
Cool. No more ideas from the crystal ball. So if you want to discuss anything else.
No, looking at the future is bright. It's not that far away. When we are dealing with, people were looking at in 20 years. No, I think the time frame should be a bit shorter, 2 to 3 years. Recalibrate, pivot, accept that changes need to be, they are contentious. In order to be changing something, you need to struggle for it. You need to be pushing. You need to be stressing people. If you see smiling people all the time when you are having a debate, that you are not pushing them hard enough. So yes, coming from me, that always has a bit of a contentious debates, and always with positive feelings at heart. So you need to be pushing. You need to be pushing me, push me more.
It's all about people, right? So you need to.
So when you're saying let's strategize, don't leave it at that. You know, pull me by the.
I need to chase you.
Yes. Oh, and I need to chase you. I am chasing you a lot more often, right?
I know.
Because he's a hot commodity. Yes, he's handsome and he's a commodity. No, and again, dealing with the talent pool. So a lot of, we don't have enough. So we need a lot more. I think our queue is over.
Yes. Actually, I was wondering if you could take some of the questions from the audience.
Oh, yeah, you are the question maker.
No, I'm not. They're the question makers.
Yeah, but you are really them.
Shall we do some questions?
Yeah, sure. No.
So can you see it in front of you? No, you can't. Okay, so the top question, which has been upvoted 3 times, what kind of products do you develop?
Do you develop, I mean, in the future or now?
One of the anonymous asked those.
So yes.
But do you want to just give us a basic?
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a key, one of the key questions. If I want something now, you know, I mean, the development has to be within a 2 to 3 months framework because things change, customer needs change and evolve at the same time. There is no single product in terms of I need to be baking a bread. Even bread now has become a sort of an artisan process. So people at the global level, you know, they are responding to customer niches in ways that we never thought before. So understanding what a customer group is in a multi-level environment, a multi-matrix process is key. E-commerce is key. Last mile delivery, health tech, prop tech, anything that deals with these verticals and any payment systems. There is huge, I was looking at TechCrunch yesterday, there is a huge investment being taken to how you can streamline all payments and give the Amazon experience. So, I mean, even at that level, even at today, I mean, we have electronic sort of payments. That is not good enough in terms of what the customer wants. And if you have given him a glimpse of what the future lies to 8 billion people, and I think, and that is going to be coming 12 billion people, it's key. Understand your demographics. Demographics change. If we are expecting 12 billion new people, understand that there is a huge population that is going to be growing. It's going to be in the 50 to 80 segment group to 70 to 90 segment group. The needs are not there yet. So think of where we're going to be. Obviously, no COVID or any other sort of a pandemic or world war in the way, but yeah.
Can I also point out another, I mean, what we've been developing, like KPMG maybe, it's a good idea to mention because it might be relevant to that as well. So from our experience and what we are doing, let's say as KPMG in developing products, definitely the customer-centric aspect is like a king in what we do. So we start, of course, from the problem. I mean, we are looking for a specific problem, and then actually we are leveraging our expertise, both in terms of business, but also we have the technologies to actually build and support the market. So from our perspective, mostly is you need to find a problem to solve, actually. And secondly is you need to understand your customer and think like your customer, because what you need to deliver is actually he's going to be the end user. So those two are the, let's say, the key elements when you are developing. I mean, it's like a recipe. I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
And connecting people. And I think one of the key interesting behavioral research. People have a hard time mating. I'm just giving it out there. It's unprecedented. I know maybe it doesn't happen in Cyprus. I don't know. But I mean, I think in the US, for example, in the UK, there is a huge problem in terms of how people connect and mate. So, and I think there is a lot of new technologies even popping up from Cyprus in terms of dealing with nutrition, health, mental health, all these, which are all interconnected in terms of behaviorally how we adapt in our everyday lives. So imagine that. So we didn't even think that it's going to be a problem.
They should just move to Cyprus. They won't have problems mating. It's fine.
Especially in Limassol.
Yes.
Because of the opportunities. All right.
And the technology.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we take one more?
Yeah, sure.
Do we have time? I think we have time for one.
Anna will
One
give us-
quick one.
Yeah.
Do you want to choose one of the ones
We'll
you...
do them all. Shoot.
We can take one more. I'll take the one that's on top, that's been highlighted. Other big four in Europe have long embraced the digital transformation with IoT and customer experiences. When Cyprus will shift from finance to brand experience?
That's a good one.
Excellent question.
Zoe, excellent. Who's Zoe? Zoe?
Very
Excellent question for Zoe. There. Oh, it's the girl that started the peace sign story.
The
Yes.
peace. And we are here. KPMG is here and giving you their 2 cent opinion. So things are changing. I was saying that we are a tech company at heart now. I mean, Konstantinos is fueling the huge transformation wave internally. So kudos to Konstantinos, he's doing an excellent job. We are moving away and we want our people to experience that path from our legacy and mindset to a whole new era of tech-enabled accountants, auditors, in a number of different ways. Now we've discussed, obviously, we haven't showcased, for example, automated bookkeeping, available to everyone, to small entrepreneurs, for example, because we understand that there is a need there, and because there is a lack of talent at the same time. But yeah, so I mean, yes, our new tools are full of collaborations with technology providers at the global level, Microsoft, Lighthouse. So there is a sort of a specific digital transformation agenda in going forward as KPMG. But more importantly, I think Cyprus is a sort of an outlier of what is happening across KPMG at the global level. We are at the forefront of changes. We have a full stack team of developers providing solutions both internally and for our customers.
And those actually can live together, right? Digital transformation is not about technology. I mean, you can see the application also in finance, right? So it's holistic approach. It's not just focusing on sectors.
Yes, and I need to end. I will probably not call it transformation, because transformation, there is a sort of a migration element. So people, moving from one space to another space. We have indigenous digital people now. People are getting born in the digital era. So they are not transforming. They are evolving in the digital space. Yes, we have 6 generations within our organization. There is a sort of an evolutionary process, a behavioral change to the way people live their everyday lives. But I will urge people to stop calling it transformation. It's natural evolution. And this is what the Nobels are being won now, understanding human behavior and how the environment has affected us humans in terms of our evolutionary process through the ages.
Well stated.